Evolution of technology. Probably has nothing to do with the Bible or scripture or God, but hey. Actually, it probably does have a lot to do with what people are believing. Oh, I remember movies growing up. Yes, we had cheesy special effects. That's how we knew it wasn't real. And our imagination could fill in the rest. Like reading a book. Our imagination. We could paint the characters how we imagine them. Then I remember getting somebody in our household got a big HD TV, and I think it was a PlayStation with the Mario Kart and the rainbow track. I have never had motion sickness in my life until I watched kids playing that. I couldn't be in the same room. I would just get sick. And then I walked into my friend's house and they have, I swear it is, if a living room was a movie theater, that screen was it. Like, yo. And because it was high definition, it tries to produce like a 3D effect, but to me it just looks fake. Looks as fake as can be. And so that's how I could tell the difference between AI videos and, for example, me sitting here talking. You could tell low budget, there's no special effects, there's no apps changing the way I look and stuff like that. But I could just imagine that people who are used to spending all day watching everything in high definition, like the news broadcasts, I don't look at that and go, oh, that's real. Because it's just the outline. Like, people don't look like they're part of the background, they're part of their environment. And so now you have the new AI that came out. I think it's Neo something, and everybody's like up in arms over it because it looks so realistic to them. And it does look more realistic than real people in high definition. Very interesting. But I noticed too that the prompts, the stories that are coming out of them, is like one woman screaming, "Nobody is coming to save you." I beg to differ. And the whole Matrix idea. Yes, something had to be created, a structure, a form for us to exist in. And yeah, if we turn into a certain level, maybe it does look like numbers and we're inside of a computer. It doesn't matter. And that's exactly what the AI avatars are saying, is like, it doesn't matter because what I feel is real. So, going through the New Age movement and, you know, the laws of the universe, and like Abraham Hicks would say things like, I'm trying to think of exactly how it would have been phrased. Oh, that it's not personal. Everybody says life isn't fair, life isn't fair. Well, no, it's a law. And that is such a stark contrast. Our life has no purpose. It just happened. And there are these natural laws that govern everything, and nothing is personal. Where does love come into that? And if I stop resisting the law of attraction, I go with every prompt, then I can be one very mean person, because And I'm not saying because it's my nature to be mean. I'm saying if I gave up discernment, if I gave up my will to this impulse. For example, I had an appointment, called a cab, me and the kids got in the back seat, and then he goes and picks up another dude. I'm like, I'm paying for the cab ride. I didn't pay to share a ride, especially not with some strange guy wearing a kick me sign on the back of him, out of his head. If I were to just totally not resist, because you don't want to resist the law of attraction according to the teachings, because that resistance draws bad things, more resistance towards you. So if I gave in and didn't put up resistance, I'd have smacked that guy upside the back of the head. And I've seen it in my children. Had a new neighbor move in. He's got this shiny car, and my son, he never destroys anything. He's like very sensitive, very conscientious, very, very fine-tuned awareness and conscience. He's the type of kid that you say, oh, blah, 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 and he'll say, well, that's saying that I'm, and you break it down and you're like, oh, dang, yeah, I guess I just did. Sorry, bub. You know, you want to know about law being written on a heart and mind. That was my son in a nutshell. So he's walking past this car, and I'm walking ahead of him. I don't worry about my kids. There's nothing going on. He's out in the boonies. And the guy comes, he's like, your son just scratched my car. I'm like, what? And I look, and he had picked up some rocks and scratched the side of the car. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I never in my life. I will pay for it. And the guy's like, no, it's my stuff. I take responsibility for it. I'm going to pay for it. And I just tuned in because what's going on here? Why is my son suddenly acting like this? But he wasn't acting any sort of way. Like, there was no thought involved. Dude, he's just walking and as if he wasn't doing it. And I tuned in. And the guy definitely had a attack me vibe in his car because he spent so much time with it. And, you know, people get attached to their cars. They name them. That car's going to reflect their energy. And that car said, scratch me. And my son was just going with the law of attraction. Crazy little Buddha master, you know, breaking the boat. Ask him, why'd you break the boat? If he was smart enough, he'd say, oh, that's because the guy was going to drown. The storm was going to come. So he can't get out on the boat. He can't go drown in the storm. Like, you know, the master of chaos, you know. So I'm just seeing what they're teaching, what they're promoting. And God, I cannot believe that there is no personified aspect to our Creator, to our source. Because if there wasn't, why would there be the experience of personality? Why would there be the experience of person and personhood, of discernment and choice? I don't want to live in a universe where nobody and nothing cares about me. Totally impersonal. Isn't that what everybody wants out of AI? They want the algorithm, so everything's personified. It's made for them personally. That's the attraction of it. Oh yeah, I want only the things that I like to come up. I want to see only the people I like to hear come up. So it's just, it's amazing just to see how all of this is happening. Like, go outside. Like, I just love to listen to the birds sing under the canopy of the trees. There's For me, there's nothing like that sound. And if we're going to believe in the law of attraction, if we're not appreciating something, it goes away. So if we're not out appreciating nature, then there's no reason for it. AI technology doesn't need it. It doesn't even need oxygen. It can just go and recreate itself and perpetuate itself on a rock. As long as there are minerals and water, it's good to go. But it's funny because my experience totally tells me that there is personification in the divine, because I've had this question. Like, for me, if I'm sharing information, if I have people to interact with and we're on a roll, that momentum is going, I don't want to do anything else. And then somebody will be like, oh, okay, time to stop for a smoke break. I'll be like, no. Give me a structured house where food is prepared every day. I got a shower every day. My laundry, I got a washing machine, do my laundry every day. I don't want to smoke. I'm eating healthy. I go out for a walk. I don't smoke and walk. I go out shopping. I don't smoke while I'm out. I don't got to stop for a smoke break. But what it is for me is like the intention behind why it was given to the Native Americans to carry the prayers. When I pause to have a cigarette, it's like a cue for me to get into a meditative, reflective, receptive state. It's not the smoking that is the problem. It's not the tobacco. It's what they do to it and how frequently we use it and the manner in which we use it. Because I realized that it has antihistamine to it. So when this system starts irritating me and I start to break out in hives, I grab me a cup of coffee, that caffeine to get my blood pumping, rush the nicotine through it, and I stop itching. A lot of us, I could not digest this world, the world I was living in. I just could not digest any more of it, couldn't take it. But cigarettes have chemicals in them that help digest the food. So my digestive system doesn't want to respond. The chemicals in the tobacco help stimulate that digestion, breaks it down. And then they're trying to find a way to separate the nicotine from the bad chemicals because it helps with ADHD, brain function. And there's one other benefit of it, I don't remember. The point is, I'm ready to give this stuff up. I don't want to smell it. I don't want my body to smell it. It's in my hair. I know until my hair grows out and I cut it all off that my hair is going to retain that in it. I know who I am. I know what I must smell like. Although, people are always surprised when I'm talking to them and they hear that I smoke. Like, you do? I don't even smell it on you. Because I always do it outside. I can't breathe in a smoke-filled room. I'm weird. So anyways, there's this struggle. And I've prayed to have this removed from me. It's like the last thing, And so I'm waking up from sleep. And there's this bright magenta energy, with just a little bit of the indigo kind of energy behind it. Like I've been talking to them in my sleep and then they're moving away from me. And I hear just like no emotional, just the only barrier between the smoker and creator is death. Oh, okay, now I gotta interpret this. Like, this, what does this mean? And then there's the personification. I am not known in that part of the heavens as the one who laughs at herself. No, 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 no. I am known as the smoker. Oh, oh God. And there's no judgment in that. And then the only barrier is death. Like, is death clinging to me because I'm smoking? What does this mean? What does this mean? And then, of course, I remember scripture. The last enemy is death. So that's the last enemy. And we know who has the keys to death. And we know that death hasn't been rolled up and eternally dismissed from our experience yet. So that's actually a good thing. Because I pray, like, search through me everything and anything that would keep me, cause me to look back and cling to this existence. And, I've gone through phases where it's just feels like my guts are being ripped out of me. Like that old medieval torture thing where they put the intestines and pull them out. Like, that's what it feels like. So I know that I've been turned inside out, self-examining, made aware of every nuance. I mean, the rabbit holes I can go down are just, you get lost in them. It gets to the point where even creation is saying, it is what it is. It's just because it is. We can't go any further. We cannot go any finer. This is the smallest, ittiest, bittiest grain of where this comes from. Like, I'm thorough. I have a bit of that perfectionist in me, which was a very strong dysfunction. I eventually learned, cleaning houses for hoarders, that my idea of clean and organized isn't necessarily somebody's idea. And if I were to apply my concept of clean to a hoarder's house, I would send them into a panic attack. I would destroy their entire universe. And so I learned, you just pick something up, dust under it, put it down, don't move anything, don't even wonder what it is. Like, just vacuum the paths, the little walkways between piles of stuff, and they're happy. Maybe they'll let you take one thing out, gradually, reduce the hoard. So I've gotten a grip on my perfectionism, but it has led me to be able to take it when Spirit says, all right, this is the route. You ready? And then it's like, yes. And then I'm crying like little girl in me. It's okay. It's okay. 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 Like, I'm saying it's okay that this is happening to me. But it just, a very emotional thing. So the last thing is death. And do I cling to death? I've prayed for it. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Also, if I'm perfectly comfortable in my body, I'm not going to be as ready to leave it behind. If I'm physically fit and I'm having like massages done and I'm eating the best food and I'm swimming in exotic waters and it's just a complete, wonderful, sensual experience, I'd be like, no, don't take me. I'm perfectly fine right here. Why are you taking me from this? But as long as my body is uncomfortable, I'm just going to be like, oh, is it today? Okay. So this personal and personified experience, I have of the divine. I prefer. And I could just imagine how lonely, how abandoned, how meaningless it would feel to not know that I am loved by something greater. And it does not matter when I am come for, even if it is after death. It doesn't matter. I'll just be waking up from a very questionable and confusing dream. I'm probably relieved to do so. So, that's the effect that technology is, and what it's doing to minds, and that it really is reinforcing the idea that we are alone, that there is no savior coming. And I'm about ready to say, okay, as soon as the creator says, my purpose is done with this, I don't have to deal with any technology anymore, it's going out the window already. This thing gets closed, shut off, put aside. I've got my Himalayan sea salt lamp. I'm wearing the copper. I know I don't have like the aches in my joints anymore like I used to. It's just where they're trying to take you. And so, discernment. It is a trap and a snare, because something might make sense, and then you start following that, and then at the end of it, you don't even realize, oh shit, I said shoot, right? I said shoot. I've arrived at this place where I'm not communicating with a creator anymore. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to hack the system. I'm trying to do it all myself with all these scientific and metaphysical principles. Run back. But we've examined the spirit. We've tested that spirit. We see where that spirit leads. We don't got to go there no more. We just say, yeah, I know. That looks like evidence. Yeah, it does look like it goes that way. But ultimately, it is not true. Ultimately, it is not the ultimate truth. There you go. How technology has developed in my experience. Because maybe there are some people out there who were born after HD started coming in, and they haven't seen anything but. And they live in cities. I had one guy flip out because there was a green area, grassy area, in between apartment buildings. I'm kicking off my shoes. I'm running through that grass, with the kids. Like, woohoo. He's just so horrified. Like, I don't think that boy ever takes his shoes off. Like, you do not leave the house with your shoes on. Without your shoes on. It doesn't happen. Ooh, the gross things that'll be on that sidewalk. Like, feet wash. And I'd rather get some healthy soil and healthy water on the bottom of my feet than none at all. Like, gotta breathe. Gotta earth. But you can just imagine that somebody who's led that kind of sheltered and isolated experience having a very difficult time conceptualizing a relationship with something that they cannot see, and to let go of fear of everything. Tuning in to that individual and the community that I was living in at the time, it's so sad to me, so horrifying that a people could be so inundated with the message of being less than, being dirty, being animals, that they can't even let their own hair be their own hair. They have to have wigs and braids and weaves and just go overboard with the hygiene. All these products with all these chemicals in them polluting their bodies, thinking that, they smell bad, and like they can't get over it. They can't let go of it because it's constantly fed in their face, and it's just so much a part of them now. It just breaks my heart, because I want to love these people and tell them how beautiful they are just the way they are. And why are you buying all these products? Why are you dishonoring your form by doing this? That's just heartbreaking. But ooh, they look so good in HD, don't they? I was watching that, I'll do that, just like gathering the news, watching the news broadcast every once in a while. I'll do the, TikToks, compilations. And in one video, it's showing this white woman, and she's got like these big thunderous thighs and this big, cellulite filled butt, and the pants are down to her knees, and then she pulls those pants up, and they're created with a pocket to lift all that up and make it look like a good booty job, and just presses that fat in, and they're looking like, oh, put those pants on, oh, blah, blah. They're all offended, like, I gotta see that, why does that even happen? And then a couple of videos later, they're shown a before and after, like 9 months later, of a woman with a darker skin tone, and she has clothes on, so they don't see all the cellulite, pimply, wrinkly stuff. And she's got the same form as that white woman did. And then it shows an after, and the face doesn't even look like the same person. They've got those apps, on TikTok and stuff. I guess the screen and like sparkles, or they can do a makeup job and make your skin look better. Photo editing. And you can tell it's clearly been edited. And these men are like, ooh, put me on an island with her. I will hook up with that any day. But I'm like, you saw how it was done 2 videos ago, and now you're gonna go meet her in person. She's not gonna have all the photo editing done on her, might heavy makeup, but then you're gonna be all like hot and horny. You want to get with that. You're gonna see her without her makeup, and you're gonna see those pants come down, and you're gonna go, ah, Do you see what's happening to people's brains? They aren't connecting dots. It's kind of like people eating meat. They go to the grocery store, and you explain to a kid, or you're cooking with lard. Why you cook with lard? Where's lard come from? Oh, it's the fat that comes off the meat. They know what the fat looks like on meat. They see it in the packages. What were to happen if you were to take that piece of meat back to the slaughterhouse, to the carcass hanging there? See, this piece of meat comes off a bigger piece of meat. Child, oh, okay, that's a big piece of meat. And then you take them to where they've got they don't use like bullets, they use that thing that shoots out. And you show that child, poof, and the skinning of the cow to reveal the meat. There's a big upheaval in Southern California when they started taking kids on field trips to see this process. And then you take them out in the field to see the cow and make friends with the cow. How many of those children are still going to eat meat after that? Like, So it's all the psychology. It's all what they do to you. And we gotta guard ourselves against it. We really do. Ugh. Crazy.